This week we will have a quiz on Thursday, and before you get too oh no, this is horrible. We will the word problems that are on there. We'll do something a little different. There's 4 word problems. Okay, 4. Here's hang on. Before you give me boos and hisses, I will during the quiz be like, okay, problem number 1, and I will read the word problem aloud at least 5 times. And then if you haven't get it done with it, then you move on and just do one of the others that is not a word problem. And I'm like, okay, now we're going to be looking at number 2. And I will read it aloud. So that way because I know word problems are a little intimidating. Thank you very much. Let's see. Not here. Okay. Thank you. But I know word problems can be very intimidating, which that is what it is. But so what we'll do, I'm going to mimic today what I would make the word problems look like to you on Thursday. Okay? So if you have your book or just get out a sheet of paper, I am on page 37. I'm on page 37. And I'm just going to work the even problems today, but I will type it up.
Now that you're on page 37, what should you do?
Okay, you're all right. Well, make sure we did them right then. All right, so this is the first word problem. It says, and I'm going to go through, this first part is exactly how I'm going to go through them come Thursday, okay? I'm not going to work them out for you. Well, I will work these out today, but on Thursday, I will show you how I will go through and talk through the problems come Thursday, okay? Let's see. So it says, first, let's read it first and see if we can decipher what the heck it means. 2 more than 5 times the number is negative 18. 2 more than 5 times the number is negative 18. Okay, so this is all kind of stuff that I will lead you through come Thursday. Okay, so I'll do it kind of this way. I'll underline that and say, hey, what does is negative 18 mean in math? So we know we have an equals, so it's going to be equal negative 18. Okay, actually I won't show that yet. Okay, so I'm going to have that. So you have that for you come Thursday. Okay, now I'm not done. So other things. 2 more than. What does 2 more than mean? 2 plus. So that means I'm going to add 2 somehow. Okay, still following my adventure. And then we're going to take a look at 5 times the number. What is 5 times the number? How would you represent 5 times the number mathematically? Yeah. So 5 times x, which is 5x. Okay, that's as far as I will take you on the quiz day. So again, when we have this on the quiz on Thursday, I will lead you about this far through the problem. I will read the problem about 5 times. Okay, if you need it more than that, that's fine, but you have to let me know. Okay? Yeah, so friends, let me ask you this, and please be honest with me. If I do this for you, does that look like does this feel like I take a little anxiety off the problem? Okay, now so this is as far as I would take you on Thursday. The next step on Thursday is like, okay, see if you can start solving the problem. You still with me in this adventure? So friends, this next part is what we're going over today. This is what you would have to come up with come Thursday. What do you think our equation is going to be? Yeah.
5x plus 2 equals negative 18.
5x plus 2 equals negative 18. Okay? Yes, you could have had 2 plus 5x equals negative 18 as well. It's still going to work out the same. So this is what you would have to come up with on your own. You'd have to come up with that on your own, as well as the solving portion of this. Okay, friends, what does it look like maybe we should do next? Subtract 2, because it's a positive 2, so I'm going to do the opposite of that. So I'm going to get 5x equals negative 20. Bless you. Next, divide each side by 5. The reason I'm dividing is 5 and x are being multiplied together. Okay? Now, friends, let me know. Will this, me guiding you up through about this point here, will that help you? Do you feel comfortable with that? And again, I will read and reread the question. I will have things underlined, and I will then put what you have to do. Then you have to come up with the equation. So this is going to help a lot of students. One, anxiety kicks up when you have a word problem. Some of you read better than others. Is there anything wrong with you for not reading as well as others? No. It's just part of life. But I don't want anyone to skip these problems. And by me kind of reading through it and giving you a little bit of a guidance, I think everyone could do very well. Now, let's say you're able, after the first or second reading, you're able to get it worked out, go through it, you get done with it, and I still am reading it 3 more times. Well, go to like 5, 6, or 5 through 14 and work out those problems with full knowledge that I will come back to going to number 2. Okay? Everyone feel comfortable with that? Okay. All right. May I move to the next slide? And again, I'm on page 37 of our book. And I need to type up the next one. Ready for me to switch? Okay. So problem number 4 says the difference, oops.
Yeah, that's how I spell sometimes.
Okay. So this next problem says the difference of 4 times the number and 3 is 25. Okay, I'll read it again. The difference of 4 times the number and 3 is 25. So, friends, what does this mean?
Equals 25.
Equals 25. Okay, so we have an equal sign. So again, I'm going to put kind of what I would do. I'm going to put that. Okay? You know how that's going to be represented on the quiz? Okay? So you're not going to have equal 25 at some point. Okay? Thursday. Difference. What does that mean for us, friends? Subtraction. So we're going to be subtracting something. Agree? And then I think we can do this. 4 times the number. What does 4 times the number mean in math? 4x. 4 times x is 4x. And then we have to realize that we have also this and 3. Okay. So that's as far as I would probably take you on the quiz. So now, I know I have a 4x. The difference of 4 times the number and 3. How do I do the difference of 4 times the number and 3 with what we see up there? Yeah, 4x minus 3. The difference of 4 times the number and 3 is 25. How do I do the rest? 25. So you would have to be able to come up with that from what I've written up there. Okay? Friends, are we ready to start solving this? Sure. Okay? So, what should I do? Add 3 to both sides. Those cancel. 4x is over here. 28. Excellent. How do I get x all by itself now, friends? Divide by 4, right. Those cancel. How many times is 4 going to 28? 7. And again, you should have a calculator. Hopefully you have a calculator that you've brought. And you just go 28 divided by 4. Comes out to 7. Woohoo! Life's good. Huh? Oh, that's fine too. You can do that as well. Everything seem A-okay, friends? So again, friends, would this help you come Thursday?
Yeah.
Okay. And again, if you're able to get done with this problem after the first or second reading, then move on and do some of the others. And then when I start talking again for the next problem, go to the next problem. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, I'm going to problem number 6 on page 37. It says 3 consecutive Okay. So it says 3 consecutive numbers add up to negative 48. Find the numbers. So one, we have to remember what a consecutive number would be. That's like 7, 8, 9, or 31, 32, 33, or negative 10, negative 11, negative 12. Those are all consecutive numbers. They're one after the other. Agree? Okay, so let's look at the first part. 3 consecutive numbers. The 3 consecutive numbers means I have something like this. Agreed? Blank, blank, and blank. Agree? How do I do add up to negative 48? What's going to happen? Equals. Good. Okay? So I would get to about that point on the problem and say, okay, go ahead and work it. And I'd probably read the problem a couple more times for you. Okay? Excuse me. All right. So this is where I lead a little bit more. I know that these will equal negative 48. Agree? So if my first 3 consecutives add up to, what does add up to mean? Plus and plus, right? So those 3 blanks are somehow going to add up to negative 48. And this is what we have to know. If the first number is x, what number do I have to add to get to the next number?
X plus 1.
X plus 1.
And then X plus 1 plus 1 or X plus 2.
Yeah, and the next one would be x plus 1, which is the same thing as x plus 2. Okay? Is it set up to solve?
Unless you want to simplify it.
Yeah, let's start simplifying.
3x plus
What's x plus x plus x?
3x.
3x?
You can also just start the problem.
What is 1 plus 2?
3.
Yeah, you could.
I just started the problem with 3x plus 3 for every single one that's consecutive.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's a good way to think about it. Okay, so friends, we're ready to start working through this problem. What should I do next? What should I do next? Subtract 3. Those cancel. We get to there. Seem okay? How can I get x by itself now? Divide by 3. And again, hopefully, friends, you have a calculator with you. So first off, is it going to be a negative answer? Yeah. So 3 goes into 51. Let's see. 3 goes into 5 once. 2 left over. 3 goes into 21. So this number is 17. And it's negative. If I add 1 to negative 17, what do I get to? Negative 16. And my x value was what? What was my original x value? That's my original x. So 17. I'm going to add 2 to negative 17. What do I get? Are negative 17, negative 16, and negative 15 consecutive numbers? Yeah. They're all three negative. Agree?
Yeah.
If I add negative 17, negative 16, and negative 15 together, I should get negative 51. If I don't, I made an error. Good? Happy? Make sense? Oh, hang on, you're correct. Oh, yeah, baby.
Wait, equals 48. Yeah.
It equals 48?
Negative 48 for that.
Negative 48? It does?
Equals negative 48.
You added them up, and that's what we wanted it to. Cool. How do we feel so far? All right. I think I'm okay.
Someone drew a smiley
Woo!
face on my camera.
It happens.
And it wasn't me.
Okay. All right. Problem number 8. Problem number 8.
Are we only doing even?
Right now.
Are they even?
Because he has escaped to the indoors.
Sounds like so I'm gonna take a wild guess here and say we have almost enough.
That was probably the worst pun ever made.
Yeah, question.
What if we don't do it in a mathematical way?
And you get the right answer?
Yeah, and you just like simplify it to like, I mean, take 68 and divide it by 2 and then add 6 to 1.
There are definitely ways that you can walk through this problem.
Could
Logically.
you do that?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
That's
So,
what I did.
so here's the hard thing as a grader. Me as being the grader, okay?
Uh-huh.
So let's say a student tries to do it in their head and they just put 2 answers, but they happen to get the 2 answers wrong.
Mhm.
This would probably be a 4-point problem. I would have to take 4 points off because I didn't see any progression. Okay? But are there ways to logically go through a problem and do it correctly in your head? Yes. But anytime you're doing some math, make sure you put a little bit down. There was a lot of people on this last quiz that would miss like 1 point, like they forgot to distribute the -2 to both numbers in the parentheses. Okay, you missed that, but everything else was done correctly. So a 4-point problem, they got 3 out of the 4 points right, or for their total, even though they got the answer wrong, because I could see the thought process that took place. Now, one of the answers on the test the other day was no solution. You might remember getting that. Okay, and I had a student in one of my classes, I'm not going to say which one, that just put no solution for an answer. But there was no work. So, is it possible that student just tried to guess? Thinking, okay, I bet you one of these is either one no solution or infinite solution, so I'm just going to guess. Is that possible? Sure. Unfortunately, that kind of problem, I can't award work points towards it because you didn't show why there was no solution. Just because is not what I'm looking for. I did it in my head is hard for me to grade. So make sure that if you're doing some of it not exactly the same way as us, you put some thought down on paper, because I can award points for thought. I can't award points for thought that was only in your head, not on paper, because I can't grade in your head.
Yeah.
Ink gets all over the place and things like that. So yes, yes. Yeah, I got ink.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so this problem says 2 football teams scored a total of 68 points. One of the teams scored 6 more points than the other team. Find the 2 scores. Okay, so this would be a similar problem that we might see on Thursday. So this is what I would probably do for you. two football teams scored a total of 68 points. This team A, team B, whatever the two teams they are. If I looked at the scoreboard, I added up the scores between the two teams, there was 68 points. Okay? So we have an equal sign that's taking place with this. There's some sort of equal sign that's going to be here. But then we say this. One of the teams scored 6 more points than the other team. Okay? So one team is going to be an unknown team, and one of the teams is going to be what in relationship to x?
X plus 1.
X plus.
plus 6.
Yeah, the other team's x plus 6. Okay? So that's about as far as the information I would go for you. Of course, I would read the problem a couple more times for you. Okay? So, two football teams scored a total of 68 points. Okay, I get it. You look up at the scoreboard, you add the points together, you get 68 points. Now, is it possible one of the teams scored 68 and the other one scored 0? Yes. That's a whooping. So that's as far as I'm going to get with you on that. I might read it a couple more times, but that's about the extent of what I'll get here. All right, so friends, with the information we know, set me up some sort of equation. What do you think? Yeah. Amanda.
68 divided by 2.
Okay, I maybe
And then give us 1 by x.
it could. So 68 divided by 2 is 34. So that means that one team scored 34 and the other one scored 40?
No, that doesn't matter.
Oh, that wouldn't have worked. Okay. So yeah.
2x plus 6 equals 8.
Oh, okay. So you add the two scores together, which then you already combine like terms. Now we're ready to start solving this thing. Oops, I wanted that to be dotted.
That'll be minus 6 plus 8.
Yep.
2x equals 2. 7 divided by 2 by 2. 31. 18.
Okay. Okay. So you went kind of fast, but that's okay. I understood what you're doing. So let me write this. So we subtracted 6 from both sides first, and that would give me 2x equals 62. And then I have to divide by 2 because 2 and x are being held together by multiplication. Question?
I was just going to say I did a different
Same answer? Cool. Again, make sure you have some thought you put down on the paper if you didn't do it the exact way. Because when you just show 2 point values, and if you get the 2 point values wrong, if that happened, I'm not saying you would, but if a student got both points or missed the two team scores, I would take 4 points off because I don't see any thought. But let's say you made a mistake on this, but you had a whole bunch of work. It's very possible you could get 3 out of the 4 points, even if you had the wrong answer. Okay, so if this team scored 31, this team would have scored 31 plus 6, which is 37. So 32 and 36 is not 6 more points.
Oh, yeah, something more.
So, cool. What do you think, friends? Now, let me ask you. Please be honest with me. By me reading you the question and doing a little bit of the highlighting, is that going to help you? Yeah, I hope so. I hope it does. Again, I know just from my years of teaching that a lot of times if there's a word problem, that becomes something that's skipped. And then you skip the one that has a fraction in it, and all of a sudden you skipped half the test, and you're wondering why your score kind of stinks. Well, you skipped some. So I'm going to make sure I read the question to you, highlight a little bit, know where we have some equal signs. On this problem, I would have given you probably the x and the x plus 6. I would have put the equal. I would have highlighted like I did in the blue and the green. And then you'd have to come up with the rest. Okay? Questions for me, my friends? We're good? I think I'm okay. All right, so your assignment for this evening, and here's kind of the niceness. It's going to be the page 37, 38. If you looked at the page, you realize there's only stuff on page 37, right?
Yeah.
And you're going to do 1 through 7 odd. Now, the nice thing about doing the 1 through 7 odd, in Schoology, in the CP Algebra 1 folder under your classes, you're going to see a folder that says SLE odd answers, something like that. And then below that, you go into that folder and you're looking for SLE 11. And this is a video of the odd answers worked out. It's like 3.5 minutes. So that is available for you. Anyone have a question on what you need to work on for tomorrow?
I have a question about something else.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, Jonathan's not here today, but I text him for what he asked me.
Yeah, just tell them to look on Schoology. I'll have this saved.
Alright.